Welcome to the Blonde Runner podcast with Coach Lora Erickson, where she shares her healthy living tips as a running and triathlon coach and mother of 4.
Hello, friends. I'm excited to share with you. This is kind of a unique podcast. I don't know if you see too many like this one, but I want to share tips on how to make your own luck. I think generally this is the month of March, and today happens to be March 13th, which is a lucky number. I think luck is such an interesting concept to me, and I think that I've always kind of considered myself a lucky person, and I think that if we polled 100 people and asked, do you feel if you're a lucky person or an unlucky person, they would have an opinion about it. And maybe as you're listening in, you have labeled yourself either a lucky or unlucky person. But I just want to share some ideas around this concept of luck. So there's a lot of, I think luck to me, lucky people to me, I think it's a mindset, to be honest. When people say, I'm lucky because of this or that, it usually has to do with something they're grateful for. So, I talk about gratitude a lot, but I believe that if you are a grateful person at your base, I find that you're probably a more lucky person, or you feel you are. I think being lucky is sort of a mindset. It's how you view things. For me, I like to, this is kind of an ongoing theme, I think, in my life, and that's, I'm sure you've heard the phrase carpe diem. It's seizing the moment. It's taking advantage of what's presently in front of you in your current situation. It's about being present. And I think that for me, if I take advantage of what's around me, what I can squeeze out of every day of my life, I feel like a lucky person. And I think my perspective is there's adventure in every day if you're looking for it. There's good things to be grateful for every day if you're looking for it. And I find that tends to make me a lucky person, I feel. Also, I think another thing that helps, and I think this is not just me, but I think a lot of people that feel like they're lucky tend to make opportunities happen. Maybe if they feel a little stagnant, they're always looking for something new to experience, or maybe somewhere to grow, or do something different in their life to create opportunities. I feel, if you can create more focus to your life, like with a clear purpose, you're going to make more opportunities for yourself. And I know that this can be hard in some areas for some people. Maybe they're just not happy in their job. It's hard to look at it positively. But not that we should compare all the time, but there are many people in circumstances much worse than us. And I think if we remember that, it makes us grateful for what we do have. And then we seem to have a more positive outlook. I think another tip on how to make your own luck, I think, would be to try to make yourself more optimistic. I know it seems, my mom and I have discussions on this all the time, but it seems people are sort of born with these characteristics that they have. Even comparing my siblings to, how we were raised similarly, but we have different perspectives. It's just kind of how we were born. I do believe if you want, you can become different than maybe you are. Some people are naturally pessimistic. Others are naturally optimistic. I feel like I've been a fairly optimistic person, and I try to look at the good in things. And I think that comes from, again, that grateful attitude. But that's something I've had to work on over the years. And I do think it was something that I was naturally predisposed, like I tend to look at the good things. And so if you struggle with that, there are ways that you can work on getting better at looking at the good things. Again, I think it comes with that gratitude. I'm a big fan of gratitude, of course. So optimists usually do create, they have more luck in their life, I guess. And luck can be relative. Like, are you winning prizes that you enter every drawing? I increase my luck by, and my kids know this, I tag them on everything on Instagram, but I'm always entering all the prize drawings and things like that. And I win a lot of stuff, and it's because relatively I enter a lot of stuff. So you can't expect to be lucky if you don't put yourself out there and actually do what's required to give yourself the opportunity to win, in a sense. So I think another thing that is how to make your own luck is to understand that there's an element of resiliency you need in life. Understand that part of success is failure. And I think that's what helps me be more resilient, is I can bounce back knowing that, well, it's not perfect for everyone. I think when we have that perspective, and I think it's really easy to see on social media, well, so-and-so is doing all these great things, but you've got to remember they're posting their highlight reel. Rarely, unless people are oversharing, do they say, well, I had a crappy day. Usually when I'm posting things, it's the highlight of my day. I'm trying to be grateful and looking at those great things in my life. I'm not always going to post all the bad days. And I do sometimes share those things, but for the most part, I think you have to have that perspective or acceptance of that failure is part of success. And being lucky, even in the failures, you can see the silver lining. You can see, well, I'm glad I learned this through this experience. I think there's another concept of, it's really dangerous, I think, to play the victim. While we are all victims in some circumstance or another, maybe you didn't grow up in the best environment. I know I've had challenges there, but you can use that as either a stepping stone or a stumbling block. You have to look at it however you choose, but even our hard things can help us grow. So if you look at it that way, it becomes a stepping stone. And maybe that stepping stone and stumbling block is both. Maybe sometimes you stumble over those challenges in your life, but if you learn how to utilize that to your advantage, becoming resilient, becoming stronger. I love Kelly Clarkson's, that song that talks about what doesn't kill us makes us stronger, right? That's the truth of it, is we are here to learn. We are going to make mistakes, and we're going to, to grow from them. We have to learn from them. And so understanding that is just part of life. We have to embrace the hard stuff. You can still be lucky. You can still be optimistic, even with hard things. As a matter of fact, you get through the hard things better. Easy to say, right? Super easy to say. I'm sure we've all had our moments where we're super, super, super down in the dumps. But trying to keep, I think one of the concepts I like to teach all of my life coached athletes I talked about this concept of creating an environment for success. And I'm a big believer in setting your sails, not just letting life happen. My husband always says, dead fish go with the flow. And that's true. You want to set your sails. You want to determine where you're going in life. And I think if you create an environment where you can be successful, you're going to have failures too, but it's certainly going to help. I know I have down days. Everyone has down days, but I have a method for getting through those down days. I know it brings me a lot of joy to listen to music. So I have specific playlists that I've developed for those days that I may need, just like, it depends on your mood. I'm not a super moody person, but some people are more moody, but there are moods I have that I want to, I need to hear that a certain message. And so I have different playlists on Spotify that I can just listen to it, and it just gives me that, maybe it's a God loves you kind of playlist. Other times it's a you go out there, girl, and get it workout type playlist. Those are some things that really help me through the hard days. But I've created those so when I have hard days, which I know I'll have, I can listen to that. I've also created a playlist, and I shared this with some of my athletes recently, that it's just funny videos that I found. Sometimes it's just so healthy to have a laugh. And so I've just kept a list on my phone of some really funny videos, and every time, I don't know why, I think other people would probably look at me and think I was crazy laughing so hard at silly things, but for some reason they're super, super funny to me. And so whenever I just need a laugh, I do that. Some of them are videos of my kids doing things, others are videos I found on TikTok or on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, and I've just kind of saved a list of those because it just makes me laugh and smile. And so when you're having a down day, creating that environment for success for yourself, finding that you're going to have those days and knowing you're going to have them, I think it makes you feel like, you can still be lucky in those days. Set it up for yourself so you can be lucky. And in terms of the clear purpose and focus, I think this can be hard for some people. I've always known that I like health and fitness and nutrition. I've been coaching for nearly 30 years. So I've done this a long time. I've always had a fairly clear purpose of my life, and that's created a lot of focus, which I think it helps me to be lucky in areas. Obviously, I'm provided opportunities in things because it's obvious that I really love what I do. And so that's not always as clear for other people, but I want you to know that's something that can become clearer for you if you work on it. I know a lot of people I work with life coaching, we're really good at working on our fitness. We're really good at, it's more clear, it's just more tactile to know what to eat right. But when it comes to working on ourselves mentally, it's a little more of a challenge. And so there are ways you can learn, what are you passionate about? What gets you fired up? I think if you're focusing on those things and you're purposely putting things in your life that make you happy. And, I get the excuse all the time, well, I don't have time. I don't have time to go do this or this or this that I love to do. But sometimes it's just a little thing. Like me, when I watch these little videos that make me laugh, they're like 2 minutes long. It doesn't take very long, but it's something that I integrate in my day to see the luck I have, see the fun I have, see the enjoyment I have. It helps me be optimistic. So you can do these things in your own life. Another thing that I utilize on my phone a lot is reminders. So the end of the day, I go through my reminders and make sure I got everything done that I wanted to that day. I even put in things there that are, write in your gratitude journal, or, take 10 minutes to do meditation or things like that. When I do gratitude meditation, I feel lucky. Even on the hardest day, and that's the day you don't want to do it is the day you need to do it the most. But when I list out what I have, even when I was driving home today, taking my daughter to school, I thought, man, I'm so lucky. It's snowy, it's cold, and I have a place to go back home. And my husband loves this. I always pop the circuits because I've got my heating elements on all in my office, like 3 of them going on me. So I get cold. So, but I'm so lucky that I can go home and I have that. And sometimes luck is just a matter of just looking at the little things that you enjoy every day. I have some children that have done service missions out of the country, and when the perspective is different when you are in a different country, and the things that we take for granted here, and how different it can be somewhere else. And so sometimes it is a matter of looking at what we have and maybe what other people haven't known as comforts that we do, and we take advantage of. We take for granted. Those are all things that make us lucky. So hopefully those were helpful for you. Again, setting that mindset for yourself, having those attitudes and looking for the things that you are lucky in having. And maybe you can change your luck a little if you don't feel like you're having a good luck. And I think we all have streaks of maybe not as good luck, but we can certainly maybe increase that opportunity for goodness by just creating that success for ourselves, or creating the environment for it. So hopefully that was helpful for you. I hope you have a great day. Until next time, live well. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Healthy Living Podcast. Be sure and check the show notes for resources or links that we mentioned in the show. You can also find them on my website at blonderunner.com. BLONDERUNNER.com. You can also find me on Instagram at The Blonde Runner with an E, and Coach Lora Erickson, and that's LORA. Before you forget, I hope that you will follow this podcast and like it so you don't miss an episode. Also, it really helps if you leave a review so other people can find it, and share it with your friends. Until next time, live well.